Well, hello. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Um, doing something a little bit different. It's gonna be a relatively short stream, probably close to 30-ish minutes. Um, we I was kind of just gonna do this offline, but I figured why not just pop up a stream and work on it. Um, I want to figure out what the optimal teams are gonna be for the Order 66 raid, and we're going to read through all of the modifiers and all of that and try to come up with quite a few different teams just to get us ready for testing for day one. Also, what I want to do is be ready for um, my free-to-play account and kind of crafting which characters I should prioritize out of the Jedi Vanguards that are going to be allowed, which ones I should prioritize getting first, so that way I am ready to do testing on that account as well. So just gonna notify Discord really fast. We are theory crafting for the new raid. Good enough. All right. Just send that and publish. Good. And then in here. All right. And we'll just do that for now. Cool. So, obviously, we know some of the teams, right? So I made a new tab for this. We know that this is almost assuredly going to be our Jedi Vanguard team. I did hear some people talking, and I do think it's reasonable to assume that Jocasta might actually come off of Mace's team for the raid, because Jocasta might be good enough, or Mace might be good enough that he doesn't need Jocasta to get a max score run. I'm not 100% convinced of that, and also for most early game players, they're not going to have Mace or Jocasta. So, if you're under 4 million GP, you're not going to have either of these. So, unless you really just hard focus Mace somehow. But I think for now, I'm just going to assume this is going to be the team, and we're only going to be working with these Jedi. Bad Batch is almost assuredly not going to have anything different going on with it. This is going to be your team for Bad Batch, and then Dark Side Clones, again, I don't think anything's changed with that. So really all I'm focused on is, what are the Jedi Vanguard mechanics? Can we make 2 teams, or can we make 1 out of these guys? And how good, are we going to make 1 good team, 1 bad team, 1 good team, whatever. Just say Todana was right. Todana has never been right about anything in his life. But anyways, let's get the dev post pulled up and read through it, because I thought I saw some stuff about out of turn attacks. And so that has me thinking that counterattacks might be really good. Let's see. Let's get this pulled up, put this over here. And then get this to here. Okay. Did I hear theory crafting? I love theory crafting. I don't think I am clear on how the raid is going to run yet. Yeah, that's kind of what I want to do, is I want to read through this just really in detail and just try to use my abnormally wrinkly brain to figure this out. Allowed characters, yeah, we know all that. I already have all of them loaded into the tab. Pirates, I don't want to go into that again. I understand if you need help understanding. I might have some questions, but I'm gonna read through it because I like briefly skimmed through this yesterday, but I was too busy working. But I got caught up on all my work, and so now I had a few minutes to take a break, and we will see. Okay, Jedi Vanguards. These are the faction bonuses. Jedi Vanguards have plus 50% max health and protection. Jedi Vanguards take reduced damage from percent health damage effects. Whenever any turn ends, if a Jedi Vanguard has 2 or more buffs, they gain 10% offense stacking for the rest of the encounter. That's crazy. whenever any turn ends, if a Jedi Vanguard had 2 or more buffs, they gain 10% offense stacking. 2 buffs is not that much, and 10% offense stacking for every turn ending is a lot of offense. That's going to be crazy. Okay. So my thought with this is when any turn ends, you're getting this. This, I think, just means speed, speed, speed all the way. Because you could make an argument for offense, but what you really need is you need more turns being taken for everyone. So the more turns you can take, the more you'll gain offense. Okay, so that's important. Maybe, actually, can we... if I pull this off, yeah, okay. Let's grab like a Word doc or something and just kind of save some of this that's important. And we'll kind of go back to all of it at the end. All right, so Jedi Vanguards gaining max offense for the rest of the encounter. Okay. I'm not really worried about the other factions, honestly. Because I don't really care. All right, Jedi Master Mace Windu, and every is revealed. Dispels all debuffs on himself and recovers 100% health. If Jedi Master Mace Windu is in the ally in the leader slot, Jedi Vanguards gain benefits based on their role. Attackers 100% offense. Dispel stealth at the start of their turn. Tanks immune to stun. Gain protection up for 2 turns whenever a Jedi Master Mace Windu uses a special ability. Okay. Whenever a Jedi Vanguard ally attacks out of turn, Jocasta Nuland's cooldowns are reduced by 1. Whenever she uses a special ability, Jedi Vanguard allies gain critical avoidance up for 2 turns. See, and so this has me curious. And I've been thinking about this. Did you guys know that I'm a Gun Die has a leader ability? All allies gain 30% and Jedi allies gain 35% counter chance and 25% counter damage. Out of turn attacks, reducing her cooldowns, giving everybody counter chance. I don't know. It could be a thing. All right. While Kellerbeck has full health, he has plus 25% speed. Okay. Again, all in on the speed is making me... Because normally you would mod him for protection to get the extra stacks of Padawan lessons. But I'm wondering if it'd just be better to do speed just to start stacking your offense anyways. I mean, obviously protection primaries where you can and a health set on your other set, but... Granted abilities. Rescue. Must attack Lord Vader 3 times to acquire. Deal damage to Lord Vader 3 times to unlock. Rescue the endangered Jedi. Subdue, defeat AFO. All enemies are subdued until defeated, which can't be copied, dispelled, evaded, or resisted. Whenever an enemy is inflicted with a debuff, they take true damage equal to 5% of their max health. Which can't be copied. Oh, okay. So after you activate this, or is this an additional effect of subdued? Okay. Minus 30 critical avoidance, defense, and tenacity. Dire Fortitude after defeating Fox. Also, quick rant. Why did we not get Fox as one of the characters? I just finished Bad Batch. CX2 was such a minor character. We 100% could have gotten Fox instead of CX. Or Disguise Clone Trooper. We didn't need Disguise Clone Trooper. Fox would have been way cooler. Anyways. Dire Fortitude, defeat Fox. Add 5 stacks of execute to enemy Lord Vader. 10 stacks if all allies are Jedi Vanguard. Okay. That's important, because that means it's an added bonus for killing Fox if all of your characters are Jedi Vanguard. All allies gain Dire Fortitude for the rest of the battle. Rest of the battle, okay. Okay. That's important. 35% critical chance defense and offense. I'm assuming this is also a buff. So if this is one buff, then you don't need a second buff. You only need to keep one additional buff, because this is a buff that doesn't go away. So for that first thing that we read about 2 or more buffs to gain 10% offense stacking, well, now you only need to keep one buff on, since you have Dire Fortitude as your first buff. And now you're getting 10% offense and critical damage. Yeah, you're going to be stacking up offense like crazy there. Okay. Defeat a Nightfall Trooper gives you 5,000. Defeat Sky's Clone Trooper gives you 5,000. Defeat a Commander Unit Fox or Apple gives you 22,500. Save an NPC Jedi gives you 65,000. Second chance points. For an ability on your turn against Lord Vader gives you 10,000. Okay. So this you can't do until you've attacked Lord Vader 3 times. So basically by doing one cycle, and when can you attack Lord Vader again? You can't attack Lord Vader, though, until you've killed Fox or Apo, though, right? Is it lower, or was it up here? Did I miss it? I think it's lower. Oh, okay. If all Disguised Clone Troopers and Nightfall Troopers are active, you cannot target Lord Vader. Once one fall, seize the window and target him 3 times in order to break his concentration for the Jedi he was targeting to escape. Okay. If all Disguised Clone Troopers and Nightfall Troopers are active. So these are both plural, which makes me think there's 2 of each. So, what I'm thinking... All right, so what I'm thinking is you're going to have... Oh gosh, what's going on? Why is it... Why are you... Oh gosh. What the heck? Why is... What? That is not what's on my screen. Okay, whatever. We're not using paint anymore. Anyways, I think you're going to have basically Lord Vader, Oppo, and Fox on either side of him, and then 2 of each of the clone troopers on either side of that. So it'd be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 characters. Yeah. I think that's what it will be. Okay. Multiple clone troopers. Okay. So choose your compare to battle map. Ooh, that is gonna be good. Okay. There's nothing here for level 0. Score multiplier is 1.5 times for the gear 12. I mean, so realistically, I'm gonna try to push for the gear 12. So, how's it going, perfect score? Enemies gain 70% accuracy, critical chance, critical damage, defense penetration. Seems that Fox and App are hero units for the opponent. Yeah, but also seems like once they're defeated, they don't come back for that encounter. Max health, offense, potency, and tenacity, and 30 speed. Vader's Fist. Dark Side Clone Troopers also dispel retribution. Wait. Vader's Fist. Oh, so this is like an added ability. Dark Side Clone Troopers also dispel retribution on the start of their turn. Whenever Foresight or Retribution is dispelled, that enemy is inflicted with damage over time for 2 turns, which can't be resisted. Whenever Oppo is inflicted with a debuff, a random Nightfall Trooper ally gains 5% turn meter once per turn. Imperial March. Nightfall Trooper. Grant defense penetration up to the weakest ally that doesn't have it, as well as remove 1 stack of Execute from Lord Vader. Whenever Fox is inflicted with the debuff, a random disguised clone trooper ally gains 5% turn meter. Whenever an Empire ally is marked, dispel it and gain stealth for 1 turn. Whenever an Empire ally is marked. How are they going to gain marked? Is it just Lord Vader giving marked out? Okay, so then let's look at... Don't they have like the kit in here? Or is that in the data mine? Okay. So then, where's the actual data mine? From SWGOH events. Yeah, here we go. Let's just copy all of this. And we'll blow this up so you guys can actually read this. All right. So can't get over the fact that we're using Tarkin to defend the Jedi. Yeah. Here, wait, let me see if I can find that Reddit post that I saw that made me laugh. Here it is. The lore accurate Order 66 raid. Yeah, obviously you got your pirates and your Glup Shittos and your Tarkin leading the clones, and Leslie Headland obviously is here because Disney, and of course Spock because we're just throwing everybody in there. Why not? You know. But yeah, this made me laugh. Yeah. You forgot Dumbledore Carson, favorite pirate from Mordor. Yep. Hannah Montana was there too. Anyways, Sayla, how's it going? We are trying to figure out what we're going to be using in the raid. Okay, so let's hop over to the game real quick and let's refresh our minds on all these kits. So, I thought the out of turn attacks was more beneficial than just with Jocasta. So it doesn't seem like... So it seems like the most important things are gaining buffs and keeping the buffs on. So what we really want is to make sure we can dispel debuffs. So the damage... Could we take reduced damage from damage over time effects? So the damage over time effects shouldn't bother us much, right? Didn't I read that somewhere? Oh, I can dare fortitude. Jedi Vanguard take reduced damage from percent health damage effects. Okay, so the damage over times shouldn't bother us much for our team. So what we need to do is make sure we are getting lots of buffs, keeping those buffs on. Luminara lead might still be good. Not maybe for the first team, because I think first team is going to be Keller and Beck lead. But the heal over time effects would give you another buff that you can pretty much always keep on. Whenever an ally gains a buff they don't already have, they can heal over time. So yeah, that'd be basically mean as long as you're gaining one buff, you're gaining two from Luminara. What up, Barris? Mm-hmm. One of the pirates will probably get a raid on me, yeah. That'd be my guess. But I don't know, I kind of thought one of the old Jedi Vanguards was going to get a raid on me. But I guess that's not happening. Um, whenever an ally is critically hit, yeah, I mean, the turn meter from this, as well as just being able to keep people alive, is going to be really good. Of each of their turns, Jedi allies heal for 8% of bear resources, allies heal half that amount. I don't know about her lead, but the equalization of health, 15 the max health and gain defense up. So here's what I'm thinking so far. Shakti's basic gives offense up to everybody. So if you use Shakti's basic under a Luminar lead, 2 buffs, just like that. Being able to get everybody buffs on a basic means you can do that every single turn, plus she gives other buffs on her kit. So that's one option. Shakti lead. Clone Trooper allies 35 speed. Clone Trooper allies recover 5% health max protection whenever they attack a turn. For each Clone Trooper ally at the start of the battle, allies have plus 15% max health, 5%. I just think you need... I think there's better options than this. So I definitely think one of the teams is led by Ictus Heave on Clones. I don't know what that means, bro. I'm sorry. All right, wait, I have it on unique only. I don't want that anymore. All right. I think it's pretty obvious Kellerback's going to lead a team. This seems pretty obvious to me. If all allies Galactic Republic Jedi, it will be. Kellerback loses 40% max health, gains double that as max protection. For every 10,000 protection, Beck starts with he gains a stack of Padawan lessons. While Kellerback has protection, he has a 100% counter chance and a 50% chance to attack again whenever he uses a basic ability, and can't drop below 100% health. If there are no allied Galactic Legends, whenever a Galactic Republic Jedi ally is inflicted with healing immunity, they gain protection up, that's buffs, and tenacity up, that's 2 buffs. Whenever a Galactic Republic Jedi is inflicted with target lock, that's not going to happen. If a leader slot and not the ally slot, the first time he would be defeated, he instead recovers 100% health protection, gains a bonus turn. Otherwise, if the allied leader is a Galactic Republic Jedi and not a Galactic Legend, at the start of the battle, they gain second wind for the rest of the encounter, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. So you get some buffs from his lead, but not enough, I think, to keep your buffs alive the entire time. So you're going to need a second where's streamer mode? I don't know why I have this turned off. Okay. Sup, boys? How's it going, Andrew? Love how the race is only 3/5 complete. Yeah. Okay, so we like Keller and Beck lead for sure. I think you need more buffs from his compatriots. While Bluffers and the Jedi Guardian has 30% tenacity, recovers at the start of each of their turns. All enemies, 55% chance to inflict ability block. This chance is increased to 100% on a critical hit, in addition to increasing defense up for 2 turns. This is target enemy with the 50% offense down for 2 turns. Okay. Just utter crap. Utter crap in her kit. Let's see. Let's kind of sort these into tiers. Total shit. Okay, well. Why can't I just swear in my own squad tabs? Total crap. Alright, can you even give buffs? I don't even think this... Each other comes healthy. 50% chance of granting Jedi concert. That's so bad. And recover health equal to 30% of the damage dealt. This attack has 50% to reduce. Okay, all of those are terrible. Yeah, I mean, the new looks pretty... I actually like these new models. They're a lot better. I kind of was hoping that they would get like a unique ability or something to help them out in the raid. Okay, there's no buff spreading at all. Nothing on either of these guys that's helpful. So they're going to have to get carried by the rest of their team if we want to try to put them into a team. Can you at least give some buffs? Physical damage to target enemy with a 50% chance to inflict defense down. If the target is a droid, this attack deals 100% more damage and has a 100% chance to inflict defense down. Target enemy and grant all allies defense up for 3 turns. At least that's a full... Okay, at least that's buffs to the entire team. All allies gain 10 defense, and Jedi allies gain 30% counter chance and 25% counter damage. Forget Shock, I brain farted, but Barris I think is great. Have you seen Jedi Console? I'm gonna be stuck testing these teams day 1 for 8 hours for you, aren't I? I'm gonna test the Jedi, but I think the other teams are kind of set in stone. I don't see it. It's just a matter of finding out the strategy on them. I'll let Scribe and Arnold and all them figure that out. I'm going to be working on all of us plebes who are going to have Gear 12 Jedi and figure out how we can get a max score with them on the Gear 12. Yeah, I mean, Arnold's going to do a bajillion runs with the Dark Side clones, so I'm not too worried about having that footage or whatever. I'm not going to be able to help people with that because I'm not going to have them ready. Recovers 15% max health each turn for 3 turns whenever he suffers a critical hit. That's such an odd unique. 30 defense, and Jedi allies gain 30% and 25% counter damage. Then target enemy and grant all allies defense up for 3 turns. Okay. So I'm gonna die. I'm gonna put this as at least buffs, because buffs seem to be very important. Because you want to keep that offense stacking. I know Kit Fisto has buffs as well. Heathcock doesn't have a way to spread buffs around, right? 50% chance to inflict defense down. Deal special damage to target enemy with 70% chance to stun and 100% chance to inflict ability block if the target was a droid. Heathcock has 35% critical chance and 20% critical when attacking droids. Hi, finally caught you. What's up, Brody? Okay. So Eth has literally nothing to give buffs or do anything really in this raid. So he's going to be total crap. 20% max health, and other allies gain half that amount. Start of each of their turns. 8% of allies max health, and other allies heal for half that amount. So I don't hate the idea of Barris lead, because if you can keep your buffs on your guys, you'll ramp offense enough, I think, to have enough offense. The problem is just going to be the enrage timer. So because it would, like, obviously if we had infinite time, you'd ramp enough and you'd have plenty of damage. But if you don't ramp enough damage to kill Fox off until halfway through the enrage timer already, are you going to be screwed and not, like, only have time to get in a couple hits? And you would have been better off starting with good offense. The other option is addition at the start of each of their turns, Jedi allies heal for 8% of Barris off his max health and allies save half the amount. If you mod everybody for, like, offense and as much speed as possible, except for Barris, you put a bunch of health on Barris. Basically have Barris be your way to keep everybody alive, and then use everybody else to do all the damage. Could you ramp enough offense that way? But then also you have to somehow keep 2 buffs on everybody. And can you do that with Barris lead? Or do you need Luminara lead to give you that heal over time as your second buff? You know what I mean? Each of us up to 40% heal over time. I honestly feel like Luminara lead might be a play here. Each has a 50% chance to remove stealth from each enemy at the start of their turn. If they dispel any enemies, they gain offense up for 1 turn. Shocking gives some stealth. Yeah, I know Shocking gives a bunch of buffs. All allies gain defense up for 4 turns. For 4 turns? I mean, if you don't get dispelled, you 50% turn mean otherwise half that amount. Flick offense down for 3 turns. Dispel Plo gains defense up for 3 turns. So Plo is actually pretty good at. So let's make another one. So we'll put Luminara and Plo in here of good buffs. Appa will dispel will be an issue. Yeah. So I really think you need to kill Fox first. Because if you kill Fox, you get 1 buff automatically, assuming that's a buff and it's not one of those blue, like, just status effects that's not a buff nor a debuff. So let's see. ETH is not doing anything. Plo and Luminar are at least giving buffs. Kit Fisto can give some buffs. 40% Tassie and Jedi. Nah. 30% counter chance, 20% offense. All enemies and grant all allies potency up. We're going to target enemy 30% chance. Okay, I mean, he's okay at buffs. We'll put him in here with these guys. Jedi Vanguard. That's really what I'm looking at. And then what about Ayla? Your unique does nothing if you don't have Jedi Master Mace Windu, which is so stupid. 65% counter chance, 50% counter damage. In addition, she stuns for 1 turn whenever she critically hits. 40% tenacity and recover 10% of their max health when they resist an effect. Target enemy and recover health equal to 65% of the damage dealt. Target enemy with 30% chance to call an ally to assist. If this is not they deal 50% more damage. Okay, I mean, Ayla doesn't do buffs, but at least she's like, at least she has some good stats. I know she at least can hit somewhat hard. And then this gives buffs to everybody. Offense up for 3 turns. I think you should be able to semi-consistently do that. I mean, and call another random ally to assist. 75% more damage and recovers 20% health. Offense up equal to 3 times their speed and gain foresight for 2 turns at the start of the encounter and whenever any unit is defeated. That's not enough buffs. Remove 30% turn, 6 gain 30% turn. So, I mean, Ayla and Qui-Gon are kind of just these support characters. So, Qui-Gon, Ayla, just put them as support. They're kind of just supporting the rest of the team. Remember, if we get Order 66, we can't get buffs. Huge issue we may be overlooking. Okay. So is that everybody at least? So that's 5, so that's 11, 12 characters that we needed to sort. Basically, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Who am I missing? Down here. Oh, Shakti. Shakti can go into the good buffs category because she's going to spread a lot of good buffs. And then... Is it I'm a Gundai? Is anyone missing? No. Color and back. Oh, Barris. Barris is also... She's not giving out a lot of buffs, but she's going to be a support. Are there any locked buffs outside of the Temple Guard taunt? The buff you get for killing Fox, assuming it's a buff. Okay. So, these 4 are dead weight, basically. So, I'm struggling to see how we're going to split this into 2 teams. You know what I mean? So, what would be the best team for Kellerenbach? If we had to just build one. Jedi Vanguard. So, Kellerenbach, Barris, Shock. These 3, I think, are must-haves. I think Plo is really good to boost the turn meter. Boost turn meter, spreads more buffs. And then the last slot... I'm kind of thinking Qui-Gon or Ayla. Qui-Gon has additional buffs he can give, because he can give the buffs with this second special. So I think if you're only making one team, I'm thinking this is it. Because it maximizes the number of buffs you can get. Only one team with KB. If you're doing... If you can't get Kellerenbach, if there are taunts to dispel, you have 3 buff dispels on that team. That is nice. Also consider Jocasta, please. Okay, yeah. I'll do one with Jocasta in a second here. I'm gonna go backwards though first, and we'll come back to that in a second. So I think if you can't get Kellerenbach or you don't have Kellerenbach right now, I think basically your Naboo team could work. So basically the same team we just put. Barris would be really good to have. Put Shaak Ti in there. Use Qui-Gon, and then put Kit Fisto in there, I think. Kit Fisto or... No, Plo Koon. Yeah. Because then you have defense up, offense up, offense up. Buff dispel, buff dispel, buff dispel. Healing, and equalization for if you get healing immunity. Plenty of allied dispels, debuff dispels. Yeah, I think this could work. So this is one team, no Kellerenbach. Barris also has a full team defense up. Is that right? Oh yeah, she does. Okay. So yeah, you just kind of have to cycle those buffs, I think. You need to cycle and make sure you don't overlap Plo and Barris's, and you try not to overlap Shock and... Well, I guess Shock's on her basic, so it really doesn't matter. I wish we had a targeted call to assist, other than Shock. Because we could target call Shaak Ti to assist and get buffs from her all the time. I guess his Swarm would do that. If you want to try to split Kellerenbach and run 2 teams of Jedi Vanguards, same team, just different leader, yeah. I could see an argument for Barris lead, in which case I don't think you need Luminara, but I just think that Luminara giving you a second buff every time you do any buff is really going to be helpful to keep your buffs on. Yeah, but the problem is I'm just trying to think of day 1 teams for now. I obviously think Temple Guard would be a better slot in and Depot would be better slots in for anybody else later, but I'm trying to think of like day 1 testing. This lead basically lets you double all your buffs, which I think is going to be important. Also, here's the thing. Whenever any turn ends, if a Jedi Vanguard has 2 or more buffs, it does not say unique buffs here. Does 2 stacks of heal over time count for that? Because that also might help keep all your buffs going. Okay, so let's do 0662. Turn on unique only. What if we try to build 2 teams for Keller and Beck? I think between Keller and Beck, Shock T, this has a lot of buffs already. I think we could throw Kit Fisto in, because that's some buffs. I'm trying to like split these evenly. Put Ayla and put... Yeah, we're going to look at all that in a second.
Hello there.
Hey, Daniel, thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it. Just get rid of this. All right, and then... So then we'd run Luminara, Plo, Barris, I'm a Gonna Die, Qui-Gon. Back, Shakti, Kifista. I know Jedi Consort's kind of dead weight here. In fact, this is probably better to just put... Ethkoth here, because at least people have Ethkoth Relic if they got the Lightspeed bundle. Maybe this? I don't know. I think that could have some potential. Now let's... if you have Jocasta, but you don't have Mace, I think you're for sure going to do Keller and Beck lead. Let's see. What was the Jocasta? Whenever generator attacks out of turn, Jocasta's cooldown is reduced by 1. Whenever she uses special ability generator. Critical avoidance up. Yeah, it's more buffs. Yeah, I definitely think you do. And attacks out of turn. So you want Shock. You're going to want Jocasta, obviously. Jocasta first. What if you have Mace but no Jocasta? Troopers, you're like the only person that's going to have Mace but not Jocasta. Which is really funny. For those people, I would say get Jocasta. But also, I mean, yeah, you're going to have Mace, Depa, Ayla, Temple Guard. Probably Shock. Probably Shock T, honestly. She's at gear 12, though. You should just relic her, then. And I'm going to assume you don't have... You're not gearing Temple Guard or Depa right now, if you're running this team. I think Plo is a natural slot in here, and Barris. Yeah. I think this is probably what you'll want to run if you have Keller and Beck and Jocasta. I think this is probably... Temple Guard will be a fast 7-stars, though, for free-to-play with era battles. It's still going to be a couple months. It's an unaccelerated character, which takes 6 months to farm normally. Even if you get half the shards from the era battle, it's still going to be 3 months to farm. Okay. Now let's look at the rest of this. So I need to add Barris, Plo, and Qui-Gon Jinn to my farm list. I mean, it's hard to know without having the raid in front of me to test it. I really think Barris is going to be a key part to this raid for the non the people strike back working on guild focus. Yeah, I really think Barris is going to be important because I think she's going to keep your team alive. I think you're going to struggle with survivability if you don't have Barris. Let me read through. Let me read through this. Whenever Nightfall Trooper scores. So is this the modifiers? And is there a way to tell what each tier their ability is going to be like? Whenever Nightfall Trooper scores a critical hit, gain 20% offense. Already had Beck and Shock started for Territory War and TB, so this is an easy pivot for me. Yeah, and you can obviously shard them right now because you can just get it for Mark 1 raid currency for most of them. But you don't have to necessarily start gearing them right away. Nightfall Trooper raid modifier 2 raid roller 5. Okay, this is the tier here, isn't it? Tier 2, Tier 5, Tier 1. So I think... Because let's see, Tier 5, Level 2, 3, level 4, level 5. Yeah, see, this is when it adds that stun. Okay. So... if we look at it this way, do you think Barris is necessary versus just Luminara with her heal over times? Da, 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 da. Let me keep reading and then I'll try to give you an answer. Okay. Whenever Nightfall Trooper scores a critical hit, gain 20% offense stacking for the rest of the encounter. While Nightfall Trooper isn't debuffed, they have a 100% critical chance. While Nightfall Trooper has advantage, they have 100% critical damage. Lord Vader can't be targeted while all Nightfall Troopers or disguised clone troopers are active. Lord Vader is immune to cooldown and turn meter manipulation and has 0 speed. At the start of the encounter, Lord Vader has 25 stacks of execute. Reduced to 15 if there are fewer than 5 enemies. Fuck that, dude. Fuck that. Dude, fuck that. CG's like, your Maul Newt Sidious 3-man ain't happening in this raid. Whenever a Darkside Clone Trooper ally lands a critical hit, lose 1 stack of execute. When all stacks of execute are lost, Lord Vader takes a bonus turn, which can't be prevented. After this bonus turn, reset to 25 stacks of execute and revive all disguised Clone Troopers and Nightfall Troopers. Oof. My facilities or disguised trooper active. Lord Vader's large. When all stacks are lost, or takes a bonus turn, which can't be prevented. After this bonus, reset to 20 stacks to execute. Okay. So after... So he goes to 20 stacks. It says at level 7. Oh, faction bonuses. Is there a faction bonus for Jedi Vanguard at any tier? At level 4 when you get to the R5 requirements. That's going to be good. The Relic 8 one's going to be nice. See, critical hit immunity is going to be so good. Yeah, I can. Ugh. And none of these characters give critical hit immunity, right? None of the ones that are in the raid. Filters. Ability classes. Shock T can give it to tanks. I don't think she does. Whenever an ally is critically hit, she gains turn meter. Bro, is critical avoidance mods going to be a thing for this? Are we going to be running critical avoidance arrows? Because it seems like critical hits are going to screw you. Because you'll be able to slow down... I refuse to believe that you have to have the new characters in order to get a max score run. I'm convinced at least one Jedi Vanguard team can get a max run. Has protection, gains 20% turn meter, and gains ruse to the end of the turn whenever he attacks. You lose a stealth. Start of each opponent's turn, because has stealth. Dark side clinches gain retribution to the end of their turn. If that opponent is a Jedi, disguise controller gains tenacity up to the end of that opponent's turn, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. Keller and Beck is a hero unit. Action abilities, end for turn. Slasher stealth. So you either have to debuff them. You have to either keep them debuffed so they can't crit, right? Isn't that what it is? Hit against torso after the rest of the encounter. Yeah. See, he's going to start hitting like a truck if he's allowed to crit. While he isn't debuffed, they have a 100% critical chance. What are the hero bonuses for JV? You mean Jocasta? Or do you mean KB, Keller and Beck? Oh, for Jedi Vanguard. Duh. Jocasta has one. Whenever ally attacks out of turn, Jocasta's cooldowns are reduced by 1. Whenever she uses a special ability, Jedi Vanguard allies gain critical avoidance up for 2 turns. That's going to be huge. And then Color and Bex is just, well, he has full health. He has plus 25% speed. So it's not very good, but... Oh, yeah. And then this 50% max health and protection. And when we have 2 or more buffs, they gain 5% or 10% off in stacking for the rest of the encounter. Okay. Bro, I'm really thinking critical avoidance arrows is gonna be what you need. Because I think you're gonna need to shut them down from getting these crits. Otherwise, they're gonna keep reviving. Lord Vader's gonna keep getting turns, and I just don't think you need to slow that down so you have that's why I'm thinking of Lumi. Her hot for more buffs. Talking about her lead? Oh, heal over times, yeah. Whoever came to stealth, recovers 50% health and protection. Terminator and gain ruse until the end of each turn. So they can't ignore taunt, right? There's no way for them to ignore taunt. Okay, that's not till level 3 that you have to worry about that. Temple Guard is the only one that can taunt? Not necessarily. I think. Yeah. You can use Shock to make Plo taunt. I think Plo is the only tank here. Or the Jedi Guardian, too. Yeah, and this chick doesn't even have a way to taunt, which is so stupid. So yeah, if you make Plo taunt, you'll give him taunt and critical hit immunity. Barris will keep Plo alive. And then you're slowing down them quite a bit. I don't know what reduced massive damage is, but that sounds awful. Yeah. Plus 250 speed, 100% counters. Enemy can't assist or attack. Again, if their attack is targeting Lord Vader, dispel stealth at the start of each turn. If enemies are stealth, after this dispel, Lord Vader gains 200 speed, stacking for the rest of the encounter. Plus 40, plus 40 max, 30% max health. It's a buff. Empire allies gain 1% mastery until the end of the encounter. So 20 speed for 1 turn. Ugh, that sucks. So if you're dispelling buffs, you're going to just be ramping their mastery. Back to Republic enemy. Whenever an enemy critically hits an Empire ally, that enemy is minus 30% critical damage for 3 turns. Gosh. So they gain different benefits. While above 35% health, Empire allies are immune to turn meter reduction. While above 50% health, they are immune to damage over time and cooldown increase. That's fine. Above 80% health can't be critically hit. Yeah, Tadana, you can auto the raid. You're going to want to use ETH Koth lead with I'm a Gun Die, Jedi Guardian, Jedi Consular, and SM33. That's 40 speed. Take Empire allies gain 30% whenever targeting Black enemy. Whenever an enemy hits an Empire ally, enemies minus critical damage. Whenever an Empire ally is marked, dispel it. Empire allies are at a certain threshold. Immune to turn meter reduction. Can't be critically hit. Okay, so this is all that. Okay. So you have to somehow get them below that 85%. Darn, I don't have Jedi Guardian. Yeah, too bad. So, but Lord Vader's going to convert all their health and protection to just health, right? Or is this Lord Vader different? I mean, it doesn't say that it has the thing where it's converting all of it to max health. Yeah, so I don't know if it will. Because you'll have to somehow get through all of their protection, get them below 85% max health before you can start critting them. I mean, I guess we're really going to be modding for offense. To balance the crit damage down and no crits, yeah. So we're going to be modding... I don't know, dude. The crit avoidance might be the way to go, though. And then... Nightfall Trooper does not have an AoE, right? Does Disguise Clone Trooper have an AoE? I don't remember. Is this an AoE? A few seconds damage for time on them. Yeah. Because that's going to suck. Because if there's 2 of them and they both throw this AoE, that's going to get Lord Vader quickly from 25 stacks to 15 stacks. Not to mention all the assisting that they're going to be doing. Bro, this looks tough. So I think the dispel, there's no mass dispel, which I think is good. First one will always miss? What do you mean? Oh, because of foresight. Hmm. Yeah, I still think. Hmm. I was talking about that at the beginning. I think there's a legitimate chance that happens, but it needs to be with Jocasta. So because Jocasta gets cooldown reduction for attacks out of turn. So if you do something like this, you'll have a bunch of counterattacks. Jocasta can keep spamming specials. You'll keep getting critical hit immunity or critical avoidance up. And I think you could be in good shape. Actually, I don't even know if you need her. You could probably just do this. I could certainly see this being some sort of cheese strat. Green, yeah. I think you were the one who was telling me about that a while back of I'm a gonna die lead. But I could definitely see a cheese like this happening. But without Jocasta, I just don't see it working. You need the attacks out of turn reducing her specials so that she can spam more specials to really be worth doing this kind of cheese. But I don't know, dude. Luminara really could be the key to this because I really think the heal over time, keeping your buffs up, is going to be the most important thing. And although Keller and Beck adds a lot more, oh, the extra speed from this would be so good though, and the foresight to start. I think Shock T is going to be really important. I think it's going to be really important to farm Shock T. I'm gonna die manufactures his own heal over time, secret tech. Foresight doesn't matter as in Appo's unique, it dispels foresight at the start of each dark side clone trooper. Is that true? That sucks. Dude, maybe Luminara is the way. I could legitimately see a world where Luminar lead is the way. Unless he has a modified kit for the raid. I don't know how all that works, honestly. So, here, let's go here. Oh. Set up. Search for Dispel. Yeah, I don't think I mean, I don't see it in here, so maybe they won't. Mm. Here's the other thing. I was just thinking about. I can look at it in a second. It's not formatted very well because, like, all the things are just not in. All enemies are subdued until it can't be copied, evaded, or resisted. Whenever an enemy is inflicted with a debuff, they take true damage equal to 5% of max health. If subdued is a debuff, then you could make it so that they don't ever get that extra crit chance by killing Oppo. So I just should be a locked debuff, I think. Yeah, and I would think that Dire Fortitude should be a locked or not dire. Yeah, should be a locked buff. But I'm not 100% sure. Because once you've got Oppo and Fox down, unless it's a yeah, once you've got Oppo and Fox down, if you can keep debuffs on everybody the entire time and buffs on yourself, a buff on yourself the entire time, you'll start ramping damage and you'll be in business. But obviously, easier said than done. I wonder if, and then the order. Is it better to go for Oppo first, get the debuffs so they can't crit, slows Lord Vader down, then you can take out Oppo, or then you can take out Fox and get your buffs and start ramping and going after Lord Vader? Or is it better to get Fox down first, ramp up your offense so you can kill Oppo faster, kill Oppo, start focusing on Lord Vader? Or is it going to be one of these where you just completely ignore the side guys and go for Lord Vader the entire time just to get your max score? All those I don't think we'll know until the raid gets here. So, I think my takeaways. I don't have my ad block and miss stuff. Damn. You have to pick one of them to kill to hit Vader, right? No, you don't. I thought it said that you can only not target Vader when there's disguised clone troopers or nightfall troopers. Yeah, see? It doesn't say that if Oppo or Fox is up that you have to target them over Lord Vader. I think what's going to be most effective is going for Fox first, because I think the buff is going to be more important than keeping the debuff on. But I could certainly be wrong on that. You kill them and they stop reviving? Uh, you kill who and they stop reviving? Fox and Appo will revive the disguise and Nightfall Troopers. Each red bonuses to help power up once you defeat them. You can also earn points for surviving against Darth Vader once he becomes enraged. But Lord Vader also revives. Because it says down here. Where is it? Where it's maybe it was in this thing. Lord Vader has 20 stacks to execute. Whenever Darkside Clone Trooper ally lands a critical hit, reduce one stack. When all stacks are lost, Lord Vader takes a bonus turn, which can't be prevented. After this bonus, return set to and revive all disguised Clone Troopers and Nightfall Troopers. Is the stacking crit damage really that useful when in Lord Vader's leader it says Empire allies below 80% health can't be crit? The stacking offense is more important. The stacking crits come from... Now let's remind myself, what do the crits come from versus the crit damage versus... Oh, you're saying from the Dire Fortitude. It's still 35% offense, but yeah, I see what you're saying. But this is one less buff you have to keep on your guys to get this 10% offense stacking. So you still are getting offense stacking and an additional 35% offense. I don't know. If troopers are dead, they can't reduce execute stacks, though. So then... Yeah, you're right. That's how you get so. So if you kill off Oppo and Fox, if you kill off Oppo and Fox, then you can basically just keep going after Lord Vader continuously. I mean, you kill off the side guys, and then they never revive. You just keep hitting Lord Vader. He never gets a turn, right? I imagine that's easier said than done, but... See if there's another way for him to reduce execute. Vader. Also, if you kill Fox, you add 10 stacks of execute, which is nice. I gotta head back first. Just ping me in Discord if there is. Move an additional stack for execute. Add additional 5 stacks. Twisted Prophecy, minus 5 stacks to execute for counter. Defeat an enemy, add a stack of execute to Lord Vader. Offering is 10 stacks of execute. 20 stacks of execute. Yeah, I don't think there is. So I think once you've hit the point where Oppo and Fox are dead, you can just keep going after Lord Vader. I think you've won the run at that point, basically. Interesting. Well, I think that's... I think for me, that means I'm going to be farming Shaak Ti up on my free-to-play, because I don't have Shaak Ti currently on my free-to-play. I think she's going to be really good for the raid. I don't know if she'll be required. I just think that the critical hit immunity and forcing someone to taunt is going to be really important, and then the offense up on basic is going to be really good. So yeah, I think I'm going to work on farming Shock T on my free-to-play. I have some extra fleet energy. I can do that. Um, I can roll packs for her on my free-to-play. But, and then Barris. I think Barris is the most important from the other list, and then Plo. Ugh. Problem is that all of these characters are... I mean, sorry, not all of them, but Calorie is a hard node, this is a hard node, and this is Fleet Arena only now. So that's just going to make it... That's going to make it difficult. I don't know that Plo is probably the least required one here. He's just probably the best slot in there. So we'll see. See what happens. I think that's going to be the end of my speculation. I'm going to send you guys over to Troopers since I think he said he's going to be streaming. But yeah, I got to get back to work. So I will talk to you all later. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.